The synthesis of protein and other biomolecules is a continuous activity of the cell. Okay, so the ribonucleic acid plays a very important role in the synthesis of proteins and other biomolecules. So in this video, we are going to be talking about the ribonucleic acid. And we are going to be looking at this acid in terms of the structure, the types, location, and their chemical structure or their chemical nature. Okay, so let's take the structure first. So the structure of the ribonucleic acid. The ribonucleic acid, unlike the DNA, is a single-stranded structure. You know, the DNA is a double helical structure, but the RNA is single-stranded. So you have a diagram like this. This is what the RNA looks like. It is single-stranded with the different organic base. All right, so in terms of structure, this is what the RNA looks like. Now let's go into the types. We have three basic types of RNA. The first is what we call the mRNA, and this stands for messenger RNA. We have the tRNA, which stands for the transfer RNA, and we have the rRNA that stands for ribosomal RNA. Now, these types of RNA, they play different function when it comes to the synthesis of molecules in the cell. Okay, now these are the types of RNA we have. I'm going to be expanding more on these types of RNA when I talk about protein synthesis. Okay, now let's look at the location of the ribonucleic acid. The ribonucleic acid is mainly found in the cytoplasm of the cell. It is only found in the nucleus of the cell when it is going for transcription, when it's going to transcribe a particular gene that will produce a protein. I'll talk about that in protein synthesis. So that is where it is found. Location-wise, it is found in the cytoplasm of the cell. Now let's look at the chemical nature, which is one of the most important part of this video. The chemical nature of the ribonucleic acid. Ribonucleic acid is made up of three basic chemicals. The first is what you know as nitrogen containing organic base. Nitrogen containing organic base. We have the phosphate group, or you can say phosphoric acid. And we have the sugar. And in this case, it is the ribose sugar. The ribose sugar. So these are the main chemicals that make up the ribonucleic acid. Now, we are going to be looking at this chemical in terms of the positions and their structure. So let's take this off. Let's assume that we take out a portion of, let's take out this portion of the single-stranded RNA and study it in a bigger view. Now, remember the chemical nature of nucleic acid is made up of these three components. The phosphate or phosphoric acid and the sugar makes up what we call the sugar phosphate backbone. The sugar phosphate backbone. So let's assume that this is the phosphate group. Let's assume that this is phosphate, and we have what else? The ribose sugar. We have the ribose sugar here, which is this strand here. Now we are going to include the nitrogen containing organic base. Let's include the nitrogen containing organic base here. Okay, so let's label this phosphate group, sugar, and nitrogen containing organic base. Now, there are four basic types of organic base when we talk about the RNA. Those organic bases are guanine, cytosine, adenine, and uracil. Now, this is what the uracil is what differentiates the RNA in terms of chemical nature. Is what differentiates the RNA and the DNA. In place of the uracil, in the DNA, you will find thymine, but there is no thymine in the RNA. So in place of thymine, you have uracil. So let's assume that this type of nitrogen organic base is uracil. It could be cytosine, it could be guanine. Okay, so a this is a unit, the smallest unit of the RNA, and this is referred to as the nucleotide. The nucleotide. So this is an overview of the ribonucleic acid. Thank you very much, and see you in my next video.